hummingbird.
Yeah, steal it.
That's a brave hummingbird, huh?
I see it.
I did too.
We didn't steal it.
No, we didn't.
Good morning. So I'm picking up today where I left off last night. I had made the handles for the doors for the atrium. I got out this router table that I had bought a few weeks ago, and I have these bits that make tongue and groove. Tongue on one side and a groove on the other. You know, for making panels and wider boards. Because the threshold material I have is 5.5 inches, and I want my threshold to be almost 7 inches wide. So, along with needing 1x2 material for the inside of the jamb, and also I need to make molding to hold the glass in the doors. I think I'm going to end up ripping down the 5.5 material and get my strips, and then leave basically 2 4-inch strips to join together. But for now, I'm going to test this thing out and see how it works. I spent a minute this morning just leveling this table, and it seems okay. So now I'll pop these bits in and mess around with it and see if it's worth doing the jamb with. All right, so that works pretty nice. It just, gives you a little bit of room to play with to line them up, and for glue to get in there. And this wood's a little bit thicker than 3/4 of an inch, so it leaves a little fin, but you can just snap that off. And I could clean it up with the router if it's a problem. But doing it this way, I only lose 1/2 inch of width, but I think it'll be a lot stronger than just biscuit joining. I'm going to go ahead and clear the table, get the drill press out of the way, and put the table saw in, and I'm going to rip the 1x2 material out of that 1x6 stock that I have, and start making pieces for the jamb. I'm going to make some feet for this guy so that he'll be level. The top of this will be level with the top of the table. So that turned out pretty well. Didn't take too long. A nice solid base for it. Ended up being like just a hair low, so I shimmed it. These little plastic shims, and that feels perfect. So I just gotta get some glue. I just gotta clean up any little glue, and then I'll be ready. Okay, so as I was doing that cut, I was thinking to myself, I really shouldn't just make the first cut without making a practice cut first. But I thought, what the heck? I don't know if you can see that, but this board being so warped, I thought I had it against the bottom, but that is ugly. I don't know, can you see that? I'll show you the really bad spot. Let's see. Ugh. It's worse here because I was, I tried it again and I was holding it down, so I was able to get a little bit more, but that's what I get for rushing things. Should be okay. So I got this, I got a feather board set up now. So that should hopefully keep it down. And I'm going to run this back through and I'll match it up and see how it looks and see if I need to fix that more or if it's going to work. That's the ticket right there. Looking good. Yep, feather boards work well. Yeah, I should remember that. They glued up real nice. I got tons of glue in there. So we'll just let those go for at least a day. Let it harden up good. So each piece is 7.5, and I want them to end up at 6 7/8. So when I cut off a 1/2-inch piece off of each side, yeah, I'm like using every last little scrap. I should be able to just barely get 2 rips, 1/2-inch rips out of the top, and then these 2, and then that board sitting over there will be just enough to make the trim to put in the glass on the doors. And then just what's left will be just enough to do the threshold, or to do the jamb. So I got almost an exact amount of wood. So I can't make many mistakes. I can't make any mistakes. Or you can always make mistakes. It's just how ugly or not it'll end up being. So next step is I'm going to actually clear off the counter. I'm going to bring the doors up. And yesterday I was thinking that I would just wait to do the adjustments to the door handles. But I think, after thinking about it more, I'm just going to get the door handles perfectly in line with the edge of the doors. So that way when I get the doors perfectly in line, the handle should just fall into place. It should just match it. And if there's a problem then I'll adjust it further. And once that's done, then I can sand them. And I might cut the threshold piece. I'll probably deal with that tomorrow. But I can sand them, and then I probably will just stain them tonight, or clear coat them. Put the first coat, at least, of clear coat on them. So that's the plan. Oh, it's toasty in here. I turned on the heater before taking a break, and I brought everything in and decided to heat up the room, because of course it works a little better when it's warm and dries faster. So the stuff dries to the touch in about 6 hours, and wait 24 hours before recoating, and only when the surface and air temperatures are 50 to 90, and it's probably in the 40s out there, so really without this it would be really hard to seal these doors properly, or it would just take even longer. I got this Man O' War Marine Spar Varnish. This is what we used to use on the doors at the door factory, I think. Was this stuff, because it was the best. So I got my mask here because it's going to stink really bad. And I plan on doing, I think you can do up to 4 coats. Or even they recommend up to 4 coats. So I don't want this to be a very common thing that we have to do, so I'm going to put all 4 coats on there. So I'll just do 1 a day, basically, and also sand in between the coats with some probably 400 grit sandpaper. And we'll see if this is enough to do all the doors in Jamb. I got a nice brush. So, let's do some finish work. Oh, shoot. There's something I missed. Let me grab a little sandpaper. Look at that. Unacceptable. Okay, let me fix that and then I'll get to work. So I was standing here, staring at these doors, trying to think through how exactly this was all going to work, and like how I was going to paint them, and then, you know, like paint once, because I want to paint both sides at once. I don't want to take this, like paint one side, and then tomorrow I'll flip it over, paint the other side. It would take twice as long. I want to be able to paint the whole door today. So, you know, these doors are pretty heavy, and if I was just to paint this side and like leave the edges, like it's pretty hard to pick it up and spin it around. And so since I have a ceiling right here, I had an idea of maybe screwing in some kind of chain or rope to the center, you know, right in the center so that it would balance. And then have that go up, and then I could spin it, you know, and get each side and spin it easily. And I found these, and we'll see if these work. They should be strong enough. They're pretty strong straps. But we'll see if this works, if they want to hang straight or if it like wants to get all cattywampus. I don't know. But I'm going to try this out. And if it works, then hooray. Alright, that works pretty well, I think. I should be able to spin both doors around, and I got some bungee cords just holding this door back. The more I look, the more little imperfections I see. Yeah, so I'm going to do this one first. I'll spin it around. Oh wait. Maybe I'll do this one first, since I got the bungees set up. And then once it's done, I'll pull it back and pin it up with the bungees, and then I'll do this one. That's better. So that way I can bump into this one and not worry about it while I'm doing this one. And I thought I brought a block of wood over, I guess not in, but I'm going to test a little sample of the finish on some maple, and if it looks good, I'm going to go for it. So here we go. Also, this stuff really stinks, so hopefully this will save me from the fumes. Have the fan going there. Ooh, it stinks in here. That looks really pretty. You can see the figure. That stuff really brings out the grain. Looks nice. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm just gonna set up the heater for tonight. Just set it on like low. Make sure that cures real nice. And I think that's all I'm gonna do today. But pretty good day. Got a lot done. And it looks really good. There's just a couple of spots that I can touch up with the sander, and you know, if I really make sure everything is good when I sand it the first time, then I can put on the other 3 coats without worrying too much. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'll take these guys out of the clamps, take them out of the clamps and get them to the right size, cut the other pieces I need, and cut the top and threshold, and the store will be done in no time.
Truly